Millions of people looked at Magic Johnson and saw everything they dreamed of becoming. They saw the dazzling smile. They saw the championship trophies. They saw sold-out arenas roaring his name. They saw fame, fortune, and success beyond imagination. But what most people never saw were the battles hidden behind that smile. They never saw the pressure. They never saw the sacrifices. And they certainly never saw the fear that would eventually change his life forever. Today, at 66 years old, Magic Johnson is admired not only as a basketball legend, but as a symbol of resilience. Yet his journey to that point was far from easy. It is a story filled with hardship, determination, heartbreak, and extraordinary courage. Before he became one of the greatest basketball players in history, before the championships and celebrity status, he was simply a young boy with a dream growing up in a working-class neighborhood. And that dream would come at a cost. Born Irvin Johnson Jr. on August 14, 1959, in Lansing, Michigan, Magic grew up in a large family where hard work wasn't optional. It was survival. His father worked long hours at a General Motors plant. His mother worked as a school custodian. Neither job brought wealth. Every dollar mattered. Every expense was carefully considered. The Johnson family wasn't rich, but they were rich in something else: discipline, faith, and determination. Those values would shape Magic for the rest of his life. As a child, he watched his parents work tirelessly to provide for their family. There were no shortcuts, no guarantees, no easy paths to success. The young boy learned early that if he wanted something, he would have to earn it. And what he wanted more than anything was basketball. While other children spent their afternoons playing games or relaxing, Magic spent countless hours practicing. He dribbled until his hands hurt. He shot baskets until darkness covered the court. He imagined packed arenas long before anyone knew his name. The dream seemed impossible. After all, thousands of young athletes dreamed of making it to the NBA. Very few ever did. Yet something about Magic was different. His relentless work ethic began turning heads throughout Lansing. Teachers noticed his discipline. Coaches noticed his talent. Friends noticed his obsession. But success didn't come without pain. Growing up, Magic faced challenges that extended beyond basketball. As one of the few black students bussed into predominantly white schools during a period of racial tension, he often felt isolated. He experienced prejudice. He heard hurtful comments. He learned what it felt like to be judged before people truly knew him. For many young people, those experiences can break confidence. For Magic, they became fuel. Every insult became motivation. Every doubt became another reason to keep pushing forward. By the time he reached Everett High School, his basketball talent was impossible to ignore. Crowds began filling gymnasiums just to watch him play. Opposing teams struggled to stop him. Sports writers started talking about the extraordinary teenager from Lansing. And it was during high school that he earned the nickname that would follow him forever. After one remarkable game, a sports writer reportedly referred to him as Magic. The name stuck. Soon everyone was calling him Magic Johnson. It sounded larger than life. But behind the nickname was still a teenager carrying enormous expectations. As his reputation grew, so did the pressure. People expected greatness every time he stepped onto the court. One bad game became a headline. One mistake became a conversation. The higher he climbed, the less room he had to fail. Still, he kept climbing. When Magic enrolled at Michigan State University, his life changed again. College basketball gave him a bigger stage. National audiences began watching. The spotlight became brighter. The expectations became heavier. Yet Magic thrived under pressure. His charisma captivated fans. His court vision amazed analysts. His leadership inspired teammates. He wasn't just winning games. He was transforming them. Then came one of the most famous moments in basketball history: the 1979 NCAA championship game. Michigan State versus Indiana State. Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird. Two young stars. Two future legends. One unforgettable showdown. The game drew enormous attention and became a turning point for college basketball. Millions watched as Magic led Michigan State to victory. It wasn't simply a championship. It was the beginning of a rivalry that would define an era. Overnight, Magic became a national sensation. The dream that once seemed impossible was suddenly within reach. And then the NBA came calling. In 1979, the Los Angeles Lakers selected Magic Johnson with the first overall pick in the NBA draft. For most athletes, hearing their name called is the realization of a lifelong dream. For Magic, it was the beginning of an entirely new challenge. Los Angeles was unlike anything he had ever known. The city sparkled with glamour. Celebrities filled the stands. The pressure was relentless. Every game was scrutinized. Every decision was analyzed. Every success and failure unfolded in front of millions. Many young players would have struggled under those circumstances. Magic embraced them. His infectious smile became his trademark. His dazzling passes thrilled fans. His confidence energized teammates. Almost immediately, he transformed the Lakers into must-watch entertainment. Soon, the team became known as Showtime. And Magic was its brightest star. Championships followed. Fame exploded. Money poured in. The world watched in admiration. From the outside, it appeared that Magic Johnson had achieved the perfect life. But success often hides struggles invisible to everyone else. The fame that brought admiration also brought exhaustion. The attention never stopped. There was always another interview, another appearance, another expectation, another demand. The world wanted Magic Johnson every hour of every day. Very few people understood what that pressure felt like. Every season carried enormous expectations. Fans expected championships. Media expected greatness. Teammates looked to him for leadership. The burden became heavier with every victory. And while the public saw confidence, there were moments when Magic carried tremendous emotional weight. Professional sports can be lonely. Even surrounded by teammates, coaches, and fans, athletes often feel isolated. The pressure to perform leaves little room for vulnerability. You are expected to be strong. You are expected to be perfect. You are expected to keep smiling. Magic understood that reality better than most. The sacrifices were enormous. Time with family became limited. Privacy disappeared. Normal life became impossible. The young man from Lansing was no longer simply Irvin Johnson. He had become Magic Johnson, a global icon. And once you become an icon, people often forget that you are still human. Year after year, he pushed himself harder. He chased championships. He chased excellence. He chased greatness. And he achieved all of it. Yet life has a way of delivering challenges that no amount of talent can overcome. By the early 1990s, Magic Johnson seemed untouchable. He was one of the most famous athletes on earth, a basketball legend still at the height of his influence. The future appeared limitless. But then, behind closed doors, a shocking discovery would change everything. A doctor's words would stop time. A diagnosis would trigger fear unlike anything he had ever experienced. And in a single moment, the superstar who had conquered basketball would face the most devastating battle of his life. A battle no championship could prepare him for. A battle that would force him to confront mortality itself. And what happened next shocked the entire world. For more than a decade, Magic Johnson had seemed unstoppable. He had conquered college basketball. He had conquered the NBA. He had become one of the most recognizable athletes on earth. Fans saw a man living a dream. But in the fall of 1991, that dream suddenly collided with a reality so terrifying that it would shake not only Magic Johnson's life, but the entire sports world. It began with a routine medical examination. At first, there was no reason to expect anything unusual. Professional athletes undergo medical testing all the time. It was simply another part of being an NBA superstar. Then came the phone call. The results were not normal. The tests revealed something that felt impossible. Magic Johnson had tested positive for HIV. In that instant, everything changed. Years later, Magic would speak openly about the shock he felt. The diagnosis didn't just bring fear. It brought confusion, disbelief, and a flood of questions that seemed impossible to answer. At that time, HIV was viewed very differently than it is today. Medical treatments were limited. Public understanding was poor. For many people in the early 1990s, an HIV diagnosis was often seen as a death sentence. The fear surrounding the disease was overwhelming. Magic wasn't just confronting a medical condition. He was confronting one of the most feared diagnoses in the world. Imagine the emotions racing through his mind. One day, you are planning future seasons. The next, you are wondering whether you will live long enough to see old age. One day, you're focused on basketball. The next, you're thinking about your family, your future, and your mortality. The fear was real. The uncertainty was crushing. And perhaps most painful of all, Magic knew that his life would never be the same. At just 32 years old, he faced a decision that no athlete wants to make. How should he tell the world? The answer came on November 7, 1991. That day, Magic Johnson stood before reporters and cameras and delivered news that stunned millions. With remarkable courage, he publicly announced that he was HIV positive. The room fell silent. The sports world froze. Fans struggled to process what they had just heard. Many people watching at home could hardly believe it. One of the biggest stars in professional sports had just revealed a diagnosis that most public figures would have desperately tried to hide. Yet Magic chose honesty. He chose transparency. And in doing so, he instantly became more than a basketball player. He became a symbol. But symbols often carry heavy burdens. Within hours, headlines spread across the globe. Television networks interrupted programming. Newspapers rushed to print special editions. Radio stations discussed little else. Everywhere people turned, there was only one story: Magic Johnson. For the first time in his life, basketball was no longer the focus. His health had become the story. The public reaction was overwhelming. Many fans expressed support. Many prayed for him. Many admired his courage. But there was also fear. Misinformation about HIV was widespread. Some people misunderstood the disease entirely. Others reacted with panic. The stigma surrounding HIV was enormous. And suddenly, Magic found himself standing at the center of a national conversation about fear, illness, and prejudice. What made the situation even more difficult was that nobody truly knew what the future would look like. Would he become seriously ill? How much time did he have? Could treatment help? The answers were uncertain. And uncertainty can be one of the hardest burdens to carry. Shortly after his announcement, Magic revealed another heartbreaking decision. He would retire from professional basketball. For someone who had spent his entire life chasing basketball dreams, the decision was devastating. The game had shaped his identity. It had given him purpose. It had connected him to millions. Now it was suddenly gone. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing the career that defined your life has ended before you were ready. That was the reality Magic faced. The emotional toll was immense. Fans saw the press conferences. They saw the headlines. But they did not see every private moment. They did not see the sleepless nights. They did not hear the difficult conversations happening behind closed doors. And those conversations were some of the hardest of his life. One of the people most affected by the diagnosis was his wife, Cookie Johnson. The couple had married only weeks before the public announcement. Instead of enjoying the early days of marriage, they suddenly found themselves facing an unimaginable crisis. Fear entered their lives. Questions filled their minds. The future became uncertain. Cookie later spoke about the emotional pain of that period. There were medical tests, anxiety-filled waits, constant worry. Fortunately, Cookie tested negative for HIV. Their unborn child was also healthy. Those results brought enormous relief. But relief did not erase the emotional trauma. The diagnosis had changed everything. The newly married couple now faced challenges few people could fully understand. For Magic, protecting his family became more important than anything else. Basketball no longer mattered as much. Fame no longer mattered as much. The priorities of his life shifted dramatically. Yet even as he focused on his loved ones, he was fighting another battle inside himself. Fear. Not fear of losing a championship. Not fear of criticism. Fear of death. At the time, many people diagnosed with HIV faced grim expectations. Stories of suffering dominated public discussion. The future seemed frighteningly uncertain. Magic has spoken about periods when he questioned what would happen next. Would he watch his children grow up? Would he grow old with his wife? Would he have decades left? Or only years? Those questions haunted him, and they haunted many others living with HIV as well. The diagnosis also forced him to confront public judgment. Some people treated him differently. Some questioned him. Some viewed him through the lens of stigma rather than humanity. For a man accustomed to admiration, those reactions were painful. But perhaps the hardest battles happened away from cameras. Behind the smile. Behind the public appearances. Behind the inspirational speeches. There were moments of vulnerability. Moments of sadness. Moments when the future looked frightening. Many people imagine that wealth or fame protects someone from emotional suffering. The truth is very different. Money cannot erase fear. Fame cannot eliminate uncertainty. Success cannot prevent heartbreak. Magic Johnson discovered that reality firsthand. Yet amid the darkness, something remarkable began to happen. Instead of surrendering to despair, he started searching for hope. Instead of focusing solely on fear, he began educating himself about the disease. Instead of allowing the diagnosis to define him, he started asking a different question. What if this wasn't the end? What if there was still a future worth fighting for? That question changed everything. Slowly, Magic began rebuilding his outlook. He learned about treatments. He worked closely with medical experts. He committed himself to protecting his health. Most importantly, he refused to let fear make his decisions. The journey was not easy. There were setbacks. There were difficult days. There were moments of uncertainty. But with every challenge, his determination grew stronger. The same competitive spirit that had carried him through basketball was now helping him survive one of life's greatest tests. Many people expected Magic Johnson's story to end in tragedy. Instead, something extraordinary was beginning. The athlete who once inspired millions with basketball was about to inspire them in an entirely different way. Because Magic Johnson was not finished. Not even close. And in the years ahead, he would transform pain into purpose, fear into strength, and survival into one of the most remarkable comeback stories the world had ever seen. When Magic Johnson announced his HIV diagnosis in 1991, many people believed they were witnessing the final chapter of his story. Instead, it became the beginning of a new one. More than 3 decades later, Magic Johnson continues to live a full and active life, proving that determination, medical progress, and a positive mindset can overcome incredible odds. Today, at 66 years old, his daily life looks very different from his days as an NBA superstar. Basketball is no longer the center of everything. Health, family, and purpose now come first. Magic has remained committed to managing his health through treatment, exercise, healthy eating, and regular medical care. While living with HIV requires lifelong attention, he has shown that the diagnosis does not define who he is. Perhaps the greatest source of strength in his life has been his family. Through every challenge, his wife, Cookie, stood beside him. Their marriage survived one of the most difficult tests imaginable and grew stronger because of it. Together they raised their children and built a life centered on love, faith, and resilience. Beyond his family, Magic created an extraordinary business empire. He became one of the most successful former athletes in America, investing in businesses and creating opportunities in communities that had often been overlooked. At the same time, he dedicated himself to philanthropy and HIV awareness, helping educate millions of people around the world. His willingness to speak openly about his diagnosis helped reduce stigma and encouraged countless others facing similar struggles. The experience of living with HIV changed the way he viewed life. Championships became less important. Fame became less important. What mattered most was time. Time with family. Time helping others. Time appreciating each day as a gift. As he has grown older, Magic has often reflected on how quickly life can change. The diagnosis that once seemed like the end ultimately taught him lessons about gratitude, perseverance, and purpose. Today, millions continue to admire him, not just because of the championships he won with the Los Angeles Lakers, but because of the courage he showed when life became difficult. His story reminds us that true greatness is not measured by trophies. It is measured by how we respond when adversity arrives. Magic Johnson's greatest victory was never an NBA title. It was refusing to give up when fear threatened to take everything away. It was choosing hope over despair. And it was showing the world that even in life's darkest moments, there is still a reason to keep moving forward. At 66, Magic Johnson remains living proof that a person's legacy is not defined by the challenges they face, but by the courage they show in overcoming them. And perhaps that is the most powerful magic of all. A man who once inspired millions with a basketball now inspires them with his life. And long after the cheers fade and the records are forgotten, that legacy will continue to change lives for generations to come.